Welcome back. I'm Tonya from Tonya's Witchy Kitchen, and how are you doing today? I'm not doing too bad, even though it was a rough morning. Keeping my chin up, keeping my chin up. That's all you can do, right? Just stay positive. There's a lot of stuff going on around the world. Even in our country, I just can't get over people. I just don't understand literally what's going on. And that's the thing. So my husband follows, I don't know if he's on Twitter or what the heck you call it, X, is that what it is? And I don't have X. And I have Facebook, but he doesn't have Facebook. And, you're sitting on there, and it's really funny how, whichever stand you take on some sort of side, that's all you hear. Okay? Because he was complaining about something with something political, and I'm like, that's not what I've heard, and he's like, yeah, it's all over the place, and I'm like, no. And if you're referring to your little social media, I said it's a little smart thing that, if you say I like ice cream, it's gonna show you Baskin Robbins commercials all the time. If I say I like soap, it shows me soap. Even on my personal account, I'm getting a lot of soap stuff where I wasn't before. And it's kind of frustrating. It really is. It's like you're too smart for your own good. Like, just quit. Just quit. Back off. Don't think you know me. I actually do that on my emails, my work emails, because we have AI. It's on there, but I don't use AI. I don't need to sound smarter than I am. But I don't. I don't want to be. So, you're closing your email, and it's, some people put sincerely or kind regards. I'm kind of a off the wall one. One day it might be happy Monday. The next day it's have a wonderful day or have a great day. But I'm always trying to kick it, like, to beat it. Like, I'll put like have a, and then it'll fill in what it thinks I'm gonna write. So then I write the opposite. I'll write great rest of your week. Like, no, you're not going to psych me out. You don't know me. You're a computer. Yeah. So, yeah, that's my little competition during work, is to beat the AI. But yeah, I hate it. I really hate the social media thing where you pause too long on a post. You might not be even reading it. You might have put your phone down, and then it thinks that you need this cream, and so then you have 8 different new things come up on this cream, and it's just like, come on. Maybe I should just put chickens on there. Just, I don't know. How do you get off that rhythm? How do you break the algorithm of Facebook or Twitter or it's X, whatever the heck it is? I can't remember names. It's the first name, right? Like, we have a hotel here that was originally Ramada, and that's where you went for Long Island iced teas. Now it's some Theodore Roosevelt. I don't know what the hell it is. It's changed ownership and names like 5 or 6 times. I still call it the Ramada. Okay. But anyway, today we are doing another soap. Another fall soap. Another Falling for You soap. And it's actually the Falling for You soap. I should have named it something else, but that's okay. I'll talk about that in the video. 3 things. Be kind, be forgiving, and be you. So let's go just check out another Falling for You soap. Okay, into our soap. Right here I'm just mixing in the lye water and all that jazz. This contains apple cider. Right there. Apple cider going in after, we'll say it's trace emulsion, whatever. Okay. And why? Why? Because it's going to make it a bubble. It is going to be a huge bubble with the apple cider, and it's fun. It's just fun, you guys. So the colors for this are Voodoo Mica,
And there's also Love of Sunshine, which you can see up in that corner there. And Kermit Green. I guess I'm going to do the Kermit Green first. Now, this was originally called Apples and Leaves because the fragrance oil is a blend of falling leaves and green apple. I just like to blend stuff. I can't find one that said apples and leaves, so I made my own apples and leaves. The other cool thing about this soap is it is going to be oh man, I always get this mixed up. I think it's going to be a circling Taiwan swirl or a lotus blossom. I always get it mixed up with the mantra swirl. Is it right? I think so. So the difference is the mantra swirl uses a continuous figure 8 motion to achieve a specific infinity pattern. The Taiwan swirl uses a linear zigzag motion, and the circling Taiwan swirl adds an extra outer perimeter pass to create a curved effect, which you will see. Now, a lot of people use dividers for this, and unfortunately, I decided I wasn't using dividers for this. No, so it took me a very long time to get started and just finish that pass, because if you have dividers, of course it's very simple to pour your colors into those. Like if your mold's horizontal, it runs horizontal to the mold, okay? The dividers do. So it divides the mold into 3 long sections, and it's fine and it's great. The only problem is you do lose a lot of soap batter, or you're scraping it off and it gets a little messy on the top. If you're gonna bevel it or plane it out, it's not a big deal. And then there's cutting the whole thing, but we'll get to that at the cutting. So as you can see, if I had dividers in my mold, they would be between the green and the yellow and the yellow and the red. And I just decided that I was going to do this without dividers because I don't own dividers. I could make them out of cardboard with some plastic wrap. I have done that before for projects, but I just didn't want to. Okay, I just figured, and it did stay fluid. I'm really glad my batter was so cooperative, but it is a process because I need to stay where that color is, and I can't let the yellow shove too much into the red or into the green, and so it was a process. It was a longer pour than I anticipated, but like I said, really glad that my colors stayed very fluid, considering all the apple cider that was in this soap. Oh, yeah, what do you do? Actually, there might be colloidal oats in here too. Did I put it in the lime water? I don't know. I'd have to look back and see on my other notes to see if I did put any colloidal oats. It doesn't really look it, but that doesn't mean anything, right? Hopefully I didn't put colloidal oats in my lye water. That would be really messy. Ugh, yeah. So this is the pour, and I know it's boring, and if you did have the dividers, it would of course go super fast, because you just hold those dividers and pour the red into the mold and the yellow into the mold and the green into the mold, maybe an inch or two, inch at a time, where I have to go very slowly and try not to deviate too much in my pouring of the soap. Yep. See? And it's kind of getting a little wonky if you see how it, I think I should just give it a stir pretty soon here, but I can't remember. I know the green apple is a really good, it doesn't accelerate. It, basically like deaccelerates. The falling leaves one, I can't remember. That one I really believe did accelerate a little bit. But, yeah, I'm already to the point where unless it says it accelerates like a mother, I just don't believe it. I'm just going to go with the flow. Because, there's so many variables in soaping, especially this way, so many variables that, what do you blame it on? I don't know, Let's blame it on the shea. It's all the shea butter in this recipe, and that's why it's slowing down. No. Sometimes I feel that way, but that's what's my hot process. If I use shea as the super fat, sometimes I feel it does loosen up the batter just a little bit when you add it, but that's neither here nor there. So, yep, we're almost to the end of this pour. Oh, like I said, it was a long one. This is not no short. This is not your mom's short soap pour. That's for sure. Okay, and next for the swirl part, because you can't leave it like this. You're going to take your skewer to the bottom of the mold and make these little figure eights, which, according to those the definition, could be the mantra swirl. But the Taiwan swirl is the one where you do like this and you make them come over to the side. You swirl the edges. I don't know. I don't do this enough to actually care what it's called. I just, every once in a while, like once a year, I will do that. Or I'll do a wood pour or something odd, right? But here it is, nice hard. The top I had issues with, but that's neither here nor there. And I had to take because I was using my soap cutter, I had to take it apart. And so it did give me a little bit of difficulty. That's a little off. And then I learned that I cannot measure with a ruler because that is a 6-inch chunk, okay? My mold is 12 inches divided by 2. I have a 6-inch chunk, and don't ask me what the heck I was thinking. I have no idea what I was thinking. But that is not half, and that, of course, threw me off the rest of the day. I was just, so pissed. So you basically cut it into chunks. We're going to chunk it out, okay? So from the top across, right? So I'm going to have 4 chunks that are supposed to be 3 inches long. These will be right. Those other 2 are not right. Okay, 3-inch chunks. See? Now, we're going to take and we're going to cut it sideways. Okay? This is on the side. I'm cutting it like if I cut the top off. The top is like literally on that left side. Okay? Watch, I'm going to try and just see what I can get off of there just to be... Okay, that's my top. That's my top. So I'm cutting this like whack, whack, whack. Okay? My top is on the left side, and I'm cutting it on that. I would be cutting it horizontally, the bars. I don't know if that makes sense. I can never explain this very well. I just literally cannot. And a lot of people will bevel that top bar, but mine is exactly 3 inches high. So I don't do a lot of beveling. You know me. I don't bevel sides. I don't bevel corners. I don't bevel squat. And I know there's a lot of people that do, and then they make the confetti soap. I was like, well, I get enough little scraps and stuff like that I don't need to do that. I can make my own confetti soap, and I'm fine. And that's how they rebatch their scraps. So it's a win-win for everybody. But like I say, I just don't do a lot of beveling. I don't feel the need. Amazingly, these all came out pretty close to the same weight. How that worked, I don't know. There might be those 3 that are that are a little less than everything else. But as you can see, there's my little swirl, my mantra swirl. It is discoloring a little bit because of one of the fragrance oils, but that's okay. It's okay. Look at that. That was kind of cool. Ooh, that one's cool. Yep. And as you can see, I mean, it's not a difficult pour. It's not a difficult cut, but your brain definitely has to be, in the mix with this, because even though I had it all laid out, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Nope, that one don't quite match there, but whatever. I think it's the far left and the far right. Those two go together, but it's okay. They're pretty cool, aren't they? They turned out really well. Haven't done this in a hot minute. Can't remember the last time I actually did this. Maybe I haven't done this. That would be funny. Here's my apple cider bubbles. I have just a little sliver of soap, and look at those bubbles. They are just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And my soap does bubble, but there's just something different about those apple cider bubbles. Oh, they're so cool. Anyways, here are the fragrance notes to these swirl bars, whatever you want to call them. Let me know what you call them. Here are the bars when they are first cut, and here are the bars when they're totally cured. Not a whole lot of difference. As always, I hope you had a good time. Thank you for dropping by, and I will see you next time. God bless.